my top science advisor, John Holdren, periodically will issue some chart or report or graph in the morning meetings, and they're terrifying. and everybody starts off the day thinking about, okay, we've really got to get on this. We've got to pay attention to this.
First of all, Mr. President, thank you very much for talking to us and doing
so
in such a lovely spot. We're told you've thought a lot about how and why civilizations collapse. And we wanted to ask you, do you believe the threat from climate change is dire enough that it could precipitate the collapse of our civilization?
Well, I don't know that I can look into a crystal ball and know exactly how this plays out. But what we do know is that historically, when you see severe environmental strains of one sort or another on cultures, on civilizations, on nations, that the byproducts of that are unpredictable and can be very dangerous. And what we know is that if the current projections, the current trend lines on a warming planet continue, it is certainly going to be enormously disruptive worldwide. And just imagine, for example, monsoon patterns shifting in South Asia, where you've got over 1 billion people. If you have even a portion of those 1 billion people displaced, you now have the sorts of refugee crises and potential conflicts that we haven't seen in our lifetimes. Then you're looking at a much more dangerous world and severe strains on nation states, on communities, on economies.
I mean, given the magnitude of that threat, why do you think it's been so difficult for you to mobilize public opinion at home about the necessity of confronting this issue?
Well, the good news is, during the course of my presidency, I think we've solidified in popular opinion the fact that climate change is real, that it's important, and we should do something about it. So the problem is not that people don't believe in climate change. There are pockets of resistance, particularly in certain congressional caucuses.
Well, actually, we've had a flatline temperatures globally for the last 8 years.
Global temperature changes, when they exist, correlate with sun output and ocean cycles.
We keep hearing that 2014 has been the warmest year on record. I asked the chair, you know what this is? It's a snowball, and that's just from outside here. So it's very, very cold out, very unseasonal. So here, Mr. President, catch this.
But if you talk to the average person, I think they understand that this is something serious and we got to do something about it. Translating concern into action is the challenge. And part of what makes climate change difficult is that it is not an instantaneous catastrophic event. It's a slow-moving issue that on a day-to-day basis people don't experience and don't see. And so part of our goal throughout my presidency has been to raise awareness, but also then to create framework structures, rules that allow us to take specific action in ways that create economic opportunity and improve people's well-being, as opposed to people feeling as if there are these enormous trade-offs that necessarily make life a lot harder for them.